Boom, boom, boom. What's going on, guys? So let's go ahead and talk about the very basics, and that is support and resistance. So what a support level is I'm pulling up this chart. So this is NSU. Regardless of what the NSU is the ticker symbol for Nevsun Res Ltd.com. So that's not important. What I want to talk about is the understanding of support and resistance levels. So what I mean by support and resistance level is where, stocks usually bounce at, where they're considered good buys, and where stocks usually hit a peak at, where they're considered good sell points. I think NSU and a lot of these stock and ETFs that I focus on offer very horizontal or ascending uptrend patterns. I try to focus on stocks and ETFs that are showing signs of consistent growth, because that's what I want my account to experience. Yes, day trading and scalping lower cap stocks that are showing signs of a downtrend and being able to profit off of them as they pop up can be profitable, but they are also very risky. So I hope that my breakdown on how it is that I trade with these stocks and ETFs makes sense to you, and that you guys see value in what it is that I am explaining with my technical style of trading. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the reason that I believe that NSU offers such a predictable pattern is this is a 180-day analysis, which means that, with this ticker symbol or this company, NSU, looking at the patterns for the past 180 days, each candle represents 4 hours. So you guys can see right here on the top right hand corner, it says 180 days, 4 hours. I can change this to 1 minute, 1 day charts, I can change this to 90-day, 1 hours, but I'm going to change it to the 4 hour, 180 days. And the reason that I want to do that is because I want to make sure that I understand the overall big picture, the big pattern that NSU has to offer. So looking at NSU, let's go ahead and actually remove these lines. So I'm going to try to see if I could remove them real quick. Give me one quick second. So with my support and resistance level, it was very easy to see the low points and the high points. Maybe some of you now are having a little bit more trouble seeing where the low points are and where the high points are. Don't be afraid. Don't think that, oh man, you're all alone and stuff like that. It's with best practice and doing this, time after time, that you become familiar on how to identify the support and resistance level. What I try to focus on are normally where it bounces at and where it peaks out at. So all I did was like, hey, look, I see that, when NSU has some sell-offs, it tends to, bounce right around $2. It pushes up, hits at about 250. Do you see, these times like 1, twice, 3 times, and a couple times over here that it peaks out at about 250. Yes, it does go above it, but realistically 250 seems to be somewhat of almost like every time that it hits that price point, it pushes back down. We call that a resistance level. So viewing this right here at 250, I'm going to draw my trend line this as a resistance. Gives me a better understanding on where I'm going to most likely want to sell based on previous patterns. This is normally where it peaks out at, and if I want to maximize my profits, then I'm going to want to sell as close to as I can to 250. Where is it that I'm going to want to buy now that I know where I want to sell? Where I want to buy at the low point, but I want to have an understanding that, why is it the low point? Well, based on previous patterns, again with technical trading, I try to see the low points for NSU. And we can see that sometimes, the lowest it's ever gone in the past 180 days, it's $1.96. But realistically, it tends to bounce pretty often at around $2. That's the support level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my trend line here at $2. Does that mean that every single time it has to bounce at $2? No, they're just psychological price points. So again, I don't want to confuse you, but they're just price points where it normally bounces at based on previous patterns. Just like the resistance at 250, it's a price point where it normally peaks out at. Doesn't mean that 100% it has to. And that's what I want you guys to become, very familiar with. It's very important to understand the low points and the high points, because now every time that it bounces here at 250, every time that it bounces here at $2, I have an understanding that based off previous patterns, it's most likely going to bounce here. It doesn't mean 100% that it's going to. So what is it that I can do? What steps should I be taking to ensure that I'm not just buying in right away when it touches $2, because who knows that it can, it will not start to continue to trend down. But what is going to tell me that this thing's gonna, bounce at $2 and then start trending up? We call that the EMA indicator. That's my moving average exponential. It's a steady indicator that you add under the setting option. So it's automatically inputted once you add it. And what I like to focus on is on this 180-day chart with the 4-hour candles. I like to wait not only for it to bounce at $2, but I like for the candles, you see these little candles right here? I like these candles to break above the EMA line, and then I have a confirmation for an uptrend pattern, meaning that now it's starting to show signs of an uptrend. So let me give you an example. This past time that it bounced here at $2, it bounced here at $2 and it broke above the EMA, but it consolidated for quite a while. What I really wanted to focus on is when it breaks above the EMA, and then that's, this is where I would buy, not at $2. The reason that I would buy here is because, again, I get the confirmation that it's trending up above the EMA and starting to show signs of an uptrend pattern. So it peaks out here, and then I can cover profits at 5 or 10%, wherever it is that I feel like I should cover profits. Again, it has a sell-off, and then again, it breaks above the EMA. Great, again, I can buy, and then boom, 250 has a sell-off. I don't have to buy here. I could wait till it breaks above the EMA or wherever it is that you feel comfortable, but it looks like it popped up right away. Again, hit 250, and again, has a sell-off, breaks above the EMA, boom, 250. Has another sell-off, breaks above the EMA. This is what recently happened, and we called this out within the Learn Plan Profit group. Me and the Learn Plan Profit group work together on a daily basis every single day, Monday through Friday. So we speak together within our private group chat over voice. So I get to work with everyone and speak to them about the top trending stocks that I see value in. And if you see value in anything and you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, then you get to bring up that stock to me, and I give you my own 2 cents on what it is that I think about that and if I were to invest in it or not, or what I would wait for. Again, me just sharing my experience and being that back-end structure and that guidance that I think a lot of people need. So it has been a very effective strategy so far with our overall Learn Plan Profit group. But that's exactly just it. So again, support levels are just normal price points or price points where a stock commonly bounces at. It doesn't mean 100% that it has to, and that's why it's so important to wait for that confirmation and that break above the EMA. And then the resistance point is just an idea of where you're most likely going to want to sell, because based off of previous patterns, it's where it most commonly peaks out at. So again, having an understanding of where you're buying, where you're selling, and then where you can cut your losses if there's a breakup pattern. If it goes below $2, then you can cut losses to make sure that you manage that risk. But I just wanted to quickly cover the support and resistance level and talk to you guys about how easy it can be when you focus on good quality picks. And just to show you or to represent an example, from $2 all the way up to $2.50, you can cover 25% growth. Even if that takes 1 or 2 months, 25% growth is huge. Just think about that. You invest $10,000, that's a $2,500 return with one trade. And again, it's all about that quality. So just like Abraham Lincoln says, if they give me 2 hours to cut down a tree, I'm going to spend 1.5 hours, sharpening my axe. We have thousands of stocks to choose from. And so many people, the most common mistake when it comes down to investing in the stock market is everyone wants to get into penny stocks and everyone wants to trade as many times as possible. Focus on quality, and that's exactly what we do and what I teach in the Learn Plan Profit lesson library. Quality over quantity, especially when starting out as you're building yourself and developing yourself as a successful and consistent trader. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and move on to the next video. Thank you guys again.